everyone, welcome to the Northland Artists Conversation. My name is Mark Kelly. I am your host, your guide, if you will, in this amazing journey that we have where we sit down and we talk with different artists throughout the Northern region. It's been absolutely amazing, and we're almost at our 1 year anniversary. Hard to believe that, we started this 1 year ago. So 1st of May 2022 is when we officially launched Northland Artists Conversation. The first podcast we launched was the 1st of June, so that's when our anniversary is coming up. So if you've been with us since the start, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. And if you're new, welcome. It's lovely to have you, and we hope you continue to stay. Switch to my camera now. And this week's guest is really, really cool. So we've got singer-songwriter Ryan Karaka, and now I've met Ryan once before, and I've seen him do his thing, and he's really good. Such a nice guy, super cool. Great to be able to chat with him, learn more about him. Now he's part of OBC, which is Producer Andrew's project that he has, but Ryan also kind of does his own thing as well, and it's super cool to hear him from his perspective. He's he has a similar background to myself. He came from the East Coast. He's from Tokomaru Bay. I grew up in Gisborne, so it's wicked to see a fellow coastie on the show, which is cool, and it's also interesting to hear his take on things as well. Like the second half of the podcast is really, really interesting because he does share a lot of his thoughts about music and the music industry as a whole. And I think a lot of that can be applied to the creative people as well. So tell you what, let's get amongst it. Let's sit down and have a conversation with Ryan Karaka. The hard part with any sort of guest that comes in is we do send out the form quite a bit in advance, and I think we got one to you quite early on, but yeah,
I'm just useless.
No, you're not.
That's the
no, you're not.
That's the bottom line there.
You're a busy man.
Oh,
because what, you've got like a full-time job and then you do a part-time job as well, right?
I do a bunch of little side hustles, really.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point there, I was even doing Dungeons and Dragons forums where I was charging to be a DM.
What? Dungeon Master? Really?
Well, not technically me, but I was setting it up and then being involved in it. So that was kind of a new little thing I was doing.
Wow. So how many...
Inner Nerd, man, came out.
How many... You are, yep. Hey, nothing wrong with the Inner Nerd. How many side hustles do you have then?
I do plastering. Oh... I keep this off the record, eh? No, I do plastering, music. Obviously the D&D stuff. I am a PT as well. So
that's a personal trainer,
personal trainer is my main one at the moment.
Right, okay.
Only because I feel like if you're going to spend that much time going to study, you might as well use it, right?
Yeah. So, on that high note, Ryan Karaka, welcome to the Northland Artists Conversation. Because all of that we just talked about is probably getting it up in the podcast. Good times.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see how it is.
That's why I clicked in advance.
Little nuggets of information
we just
snuck in
there. That's
there.
it. We're just going to get stuff out. You'll eventually feel super comfortable. So you studied to be a personal trainer.
I did.
Yeah, but you're a musician as well, right?
Yeah. Musician. Yeah. Artist, singer, songwriter. I hate saying I'm a musician because then I'm not the best when it comes to playing guitar or piano or drums. I kind of just dabble.
Yeah. So I have a guitar and I like the drop D, so I can go chug, chug, chug. That's really about it. And I toured as a musician for 7 years out of the chug, chug, chug. So you don't have to be talented.
Fantastic. There we go. Fantastic.
No talent required.
Oh, no. Yeah, sometimes improvisation helps, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I've always just made shit up as I went along.
Oh, just use the facials. Facials always sell it.
They do.
If people think you belong there, then you belong there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I always thought, yes, I'm a metal singer. I look like I belong here because I'm angry. Grr. It's funny how that works.
Well,
Angry middle-aged man.
I guess I kind of look like a rapper
Oh really?
at the start,
Yeah.
and then I just look like your typical New Zealander. But at the start, I guess I look like a rapper, and then I just start singing.
Okay.
So it was kind of I don't know. It was a little bit weird to start with. It took me a minute to actually even think I could sing.
Okay. I'll tell you what then. Let's go back. And let's go right back because I'm really interested to find out how you kind of got into music and stuff like that. Going back to primary school or even earlier, what were things like at home? If you're a singer and a player of the guitar and those things, a lot of the guests have found that they were sort of surrounded by either a house full of music or parents or relatives that were musically inclined. How was it for you?
My first introduction to there's always been music in the house, but I guess my first introduction to music would be my mum.
Okay, yeah.
She's an awesome singer.
Yeah.
So she kind of surrounded us with it. And by just luck, I guess, one of the houses we rented had a piano in it.
Oh, wow.
Which was my first introduction to playing anything.
Right, okay.
And so, bored little Ryan decided to just get up and be annoying and touch as many keys as he possibly could.
All at once, making that beautiful noise.
Why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah. Blang, blang, blang.
Which I'm sure my mother enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then, eventually I guess I just started playing by ear.
Okay.
Hearing music around the house, and then I'll try and play it on the piano. And
yeah.
Slowly but surely it started to evolve. And I also went to church.
Okay. Yep.
So I had a church music background.
Yeah.
Again, somehow that landed me more into hip hop than singing. So for all this time, I wasn't singing. So from the time I was about 5 years old, where I probably started dabbling in music instruments,
yeah,
all the way up until pretty much I was a teenager.
Yeah. Right.
I kind of just put the fact that I could that I thought I could sing to the side, and was just doing rap.
Really?
I was in a Christian rap group, believe it or not.
What was the name? Did you have a name?
We just went under Te Rongapai.
Okay, right.
But this was in Tukumaru Bay. Years and years and years
Toko?
ago. Yeah.
I'm from Gizzy.
Oh, there you go.
Bro.
There you go.
Man, Toko and old Tolliga.
Yeah, so there was
That's classic, man.
There was a little church that was actually in the pub.
Yes.
Because there's only like four major buildings there that you can consider to be an outlet of any sort. So it was the pub, the Foursquare, the campground Mayfair, which is like another dairy.
Yep.
And then
I've camped at that campground.
There you go. And then another like random the fish and chip shop.
Yeah, yep.
Which was always packed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that okay, so you're like touching the instruments at home, and you're
it sounds caressing the instruments at
producer
home.
Andrew.
Absolutely.
Shut up, producer Andrew. He's trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just essentially making noise on the instruments.
Absolutely. Smashing those keys, man.
So you were Hulk smash.
Absolutely.
Touching them inappropriately.
Indeed.
But still not embracing the singing side. You went into the hip hop. Why did you go into the rapping side as opposed to the singing side?
I didn't think I could sing, to be honest.
Was that a confidence thing, or had people said to you, "You're shit, don't do it"?
I was like,
I've heard cats having sex with more harmony than
that. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I've heard a possum fall out of the tree in better note than you. It's siblings, man. It's siblings.
I gotta love them.
Yeah, it's and I hope my brother doesn't see this. He might.
He might listen to it or see it.
He's my greatest critic.
Okay.
No one will beat him. Personal number one critic.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is.
Out of a family of how many?
There's 4 of us. Oh, well, 6 in total, but I've only got brothers too.
Okay. Oh, right.
And I'm the oldest, and they're all younger.
Right.
But me and him are way too close in age.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on you, Mum and Dad. Shout out to Mum and Dad.
Yeah. Not a lot to do in Toko.
There you
Mum
go.
and Dad represent.
See? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he
They celebrated the day you were born.
Yeah.
there you go.
Were you
No.
conceived at the campground, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I was conceived, bro. Probably at some random pub after a rugby game somewhere. But I was born in Huntley. If that
Huntley?
yeah, if that
Man,
put
from-
that in your head and see what comes up.
Huntley to Toko. That's
Interesting, eh?
it's a hell of a journey. Well,
Yep.
my childhood friend Gary Stevenson, he used to own. His parents used to own the service station in Tolaga Bay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Good place to be.
it was. And how I remember Toko is that when I was young, Mum, Dad, and my brother, we would all go camping, and Dad thought, in his infinite wisdom, thought it was a really, really good idea to go to Tolaga, and it was like really, really windy, and he was like, "No, we'll just put up the fucking tent, we'll be fine." So I put up the tent, and it got to about 5 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden the wind got underneath the tent
Nice.
and flipped it over, and I ended up lying on the bonnet of our car.
Love it.
That's how I remember
That's,
Tokomaru Bay.
That sums it up, though, right?
Yeah, it does.
It was an awesome place to grow up, I must say.
Yeah. The whole East Coast is just beautiful. When it's on and it's summer, it's untouchable.
Well, the joke was always that you could, like, obviously it's in disarray at the moment, unfortunately. But
Yeah, unfortunately.
we used to have the joke that you could fall asleep on the road, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And like people have, and honestly, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's how many people used to go through there, and most of the time, they just ride horses.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
yeah.
You get everyone come down from Ruatoria.
Well, look, obviously, they've got a music crew that's come out of there too.
They do.
So, and they did pretty well for themselves,
They
which
did
was pretty cool to
very
see.
well,
And
yeah.
they've always ranked pretty high in Kapahaka.
Yep.
Again, when I started developing singing, I did Kapahaka there.
Oh, really?
And made it to nationals while I was there, so that was a great experience. Culturally, and obviously, I got to learn a few techniques.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get the ability to belt power notes like Stan Walker, but
Okay, right.
it
yep.
was an experience though.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another little
Little nugget of goodness.
yeah for music there.
How important, like, because growing up, Toko it's a town. It's very, very small, small population. I mean, you've got to try and give people context, and producer Andrew, we're going to put a map just in the here. Thank you. You love it when I do that too. You've got Gisborne, Tolaga Bay, which is 45 minutes north, Tokomaru Bay, and then Ruatoria,
Yep.
and then you kind of go around the coast. Go up around East Coast, and then you kind of end up at Opotiki. So school there is like, it's an area school, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And like the teachers are auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
So like you don't want to get disciplined at that school because it's not. I'm going to tell your mum. It's sharp toe up the bum.
Yeah. And your mum's going to give you one when you get home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, to be fair, I thought that was cool, and they obviously care about the education up there. They'll put the extra effort in because again, it's auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
And in a community like that, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
So everybody knows everybody.
Yep.
Everybody's family. Like it's what a cool environment. Well, that's so cool. And to not be, I guess, surrounded by all the technology and stuff that was rising at the time.
Yeah, you're really, you've got to focus on the actual work itself.
Yeah, it gave you like that, I guess, an experience I probably wouldn't have got in other places.
Yep.
So that was cool. I love the place.
So you're at Tokomaru Bay Area School. You're there. How long are you there for? I mean, do you go to? Are you going like from primary all the way through to high school?
Yeah, primary. Well, high school was Tolaga Bay.
High school was
so
Tolaga
they
Bay.
only
Okay.
had a primary school in Tokomaru Bay.
Yeah.
And from there, you got on like the most old school bus. This thing was barely hanging on.
Yeah.
Like, when you went up the hill, you literally would be like, all right, today's the day. We will have to walk from here. And, like, it was like the chairs were just wooden plywood. It was
They're durable.
It was awesome. It would take, it honestly felt like it would take an hour and a bit to get to school.
From Toko to Toliga.
And you do that every morning. Yeah, you get up, you do that every single morning. Everyone would meet at the Four Square. You get on the bus, and you're away.
Yeah.
And you drive like an hour, maybe. You get you come up to the top of the hill.
Yes.
And then you just hope that you can roll the rest of the way.
Yeah. So. It's the getting up part that was the the interesting
absolutely.
one. Yeah.
It was awesome. It was an experience. But then I went to Tolaga Bay for intermediate and a little bit of high school before I moved to Northland. And
right.
That's when I started with the dabbling in the old garage band. Was in Tolaga Bay.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's my first media experience.
Okay.
With the old sample beats. Yep. We just click the drum and click the bass line and look how awesome I am. I am a musician.
I've made a
Fear
beat.
me.
Fear me.
Yeah, so everybody would go around with their garage band beats or their polyphonic ringtones and feel awesome.
Yeah, polyphonic ringtones. That's just throwing it right back for me, because I remember those off your phone. You could make these ringtones. It was so good.
And that's where I first got forced to sing properly, actually, was in Tolaga Bay. So we had music, and to pass, it's going to sound bad, and I'm not trying to throw Tolaga Bay Area School under the bus here.
No shade. But spill the tea.
For music, it was karaoke. They pulled out this karaoke, this little TV monitor, and literally played karaoke sounds through this little speaker, this bung little mic. And you'd get up and they'd go, right, sing. And if you don't sing, you fail. And if you sing and you suck, we'll give you at least a pass. So, yeah, we had our own little Once We're Warriors moment in the classroom, right?
Right, okay. I think what I like about the rural regions is that it's very entrepreneurial. They're very much, we'll make something work. Yeah,
and it was interesting.
Yeah, but did you pass?
I did in the end. Okay. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I did not want to sing in front of anybody.
Because you're getting all of this from your brother in the background going, you shit, you suck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not just him, but obviously it was a bit of my own insecurities too. But
right, okay.
Half of me was, I didn't really think I was a great singer. And I guess the other half was, if I was, I don't want people to know because I really wanted to be a rapper. I was like, at the time, my mother was really on my case. She's like, you can't be both. You got to pick one. And why would you want to be a rapper? There's already 5 rappers here. Why don't you be a singer? And I think the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge was kind of the whole, if you've got a particular talent, why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah, absolutely.
At the start, that's what stuck in my head. And I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like, I'm a good rapper. I think I'm a better rapper than I am singer.
Oh, no, I was not a good rapper.
But did you think you were a better rapper than singer?
Probably not.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we got to perform at Parachute, which was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, but other than that, nah, no way. I was more of a, I guess you could say my raps were more of poems than raps.
Oh, like spoken word type stuff?
Yeah, I'd never rap them now, ever.
Okay. Can you give us a few bars?
No way.
No, that's fine.
No way.
I do understand.
It'd haunt me. Do you want your channel to collapse? Because it might.
Well, we had Tim Bell on and we're still going, so it can't be that bad.
So, yeah. It was a journey.
Yeah.
But what I will say, emceeing did for me was the ability to write.
Yes.
Because I will say that about singing versus rapping. Like, rappers will write stories.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's just one segment of a song for them.
Yeah.
They've got 7-8 pages for a singer.
Yeah.
A whole page could be a song. For a rapper.
I'll agree with that.
You go 7-8 pages, that might just be their section in the song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I was a singer in a band for 7 years, and as you said, often for me it would be one page would be like a 3.5, 4 minute song, because I'm not. I think the difference between singing and rapping, it's you're often trying to get your rhyming schemes with words and syllables and things like that. So you're getting your flow out as fast as possible. But with singing, it can be like, I'm going to hold a note, and that will be a line, and that'll be a bar of music, and you'll be like, oh, and then music's playing underneath.
I think with another thing that I stole from rapping that I put into singing. And this, again, might be a controversial statement here, because people might be like, singers did it first. But the ability to hide messages on messages on messages within a song.
I think Judas Priest did that. It didn't work out that well for them.
Yeah, so yeah, like a lot of MCs will hide meanings.
Yes.
And their words will have maybe double, triple, 4, 5, 6 different meanings.
Yep. So, for anyone that's watching or listening, I highly recommend... there's a YouTube video which talks about the different styles of rap flow and how rappers do that. They reference Biggie's Hypnotize as a song that just kind of changes the structure and has got multi-layered meanings in there. It's very, very well done. Like, as someone who's not educated with the hip-hop world...
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. It's been really interesting to see, because obviously, collaborating with Andrew and this sort of stuff, I show him the metal, he shows me the hip hop, and that's probably why we get on so well. So you moved to Northland, having passed music with flying colours in the end.
Yeah, well, most people did. I ended up having to sing "Stand By Me," and it was everything I feared it would be. But the worst part is the first half of the song, I just sat there mumbling into the mic and singing like the... And then I went, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail great.
Yeah, fail big.
And so I just started belting, but I had to look at the wall. I could not look at the people in the room.
Really?
I just turned around and started singing at a wall.
Yeah.
Because...
Okay.
Nothing gets you friends better than singing to a wall.
Yeah. It's stage presence. Connecting with the audience.
And they said, they quite often say when you sing, if you have silence in the crowd, either it's going really well or it's going really bad. The horrible thing with that when you're the singer is you don't know until the end which it is.
Yep. I'll agree with that statement too.
So you're sitting there going, they love me.
Yeah.
And then a tomato hits you in the face and you go, they absolutely loved me.
Yeah, it's a past tense.
So yeah, it was a frightening experience. It was experience which ended up being the first kick in the butt that I needed to actually start singing. And then fast forward to Northland.
And then you moved to Northland. Now, when you moved here, did you sort of connect with like-minded people? Did you sort of dive straight on into singing, or did you kind of go, no, I'm going to have a crack at this rap thing again?
Well, like you mentioned metal before. The funny thing is, my flavor for music just started going everywhere. Like, I was addicted to Queen at that point.
Oh,
and then from band. Queen, just to switch it up, I started listening to Cannibal Corpse and Slipknot and all these other bloody heavy metal bands, death metal bands actually.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping to that stuff. And then I was like, but I'm an R&B singer. But what did you listen to? Like Hammer Smash Face all the way. So when we got to Northland, we were confused people, because me and my brother were both into death metal and we were going for the look and everything.
Really?
And we turned up here and what do? Oh, I rap.
but you look like a bogan.
Yeah, but I like metal, but I rap. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I guess I joined music because I thought, cool.
Yeah, I've passed once. How hard can it be?
I can easily sing karaoke and pass. This will be great. This will be great credits.
An easy win.
Yeah. But then, I traded my short little brown Maori teacher for a optimistic white piano playing genius that, not that colour means anything, but just he actually did music And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm in music now.
Yeah.
What do I do? Can you read music? Mate, I can't even read English. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, can I read music? Yeah, and then they started hitting me with the semi-quavers and stuff, and I thought, man, this guy, he's trying to have a fight with me, clearly.
Yeah. What do you mean bass? I'm going to give you the treble across the face soon.
What do you mean? Yeah, I can't afford semi-quavers.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, mate? I've got my own lunch. Leave me alone. Yeah, it was a moment for sure, and they rightly gave me a kick up the pants, and I kind of realized that just being able to sing is not going to get you through music.
No.
And then I had to start practicing other stuff, which was interesting in its own right. So in school, I did a little bit of sound engineering from that same teacher. And I was so lucky at the time because I think he did a certificate level in sound engineering. And we were like the last students to be able to do it.
Oh, wow.
Before he was like, I'm out of here.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And that ended up being a ridiculous ticket into what I eventually went and done later, which was go to Mains in Auckland.
Wow, audio engineering.
Yeah, but I wanted to go earlier, sooner rather. Like at the time, I was like, I know what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
Why do I want to sit here and make little glass cups and do woodwork and
what's this math shit? I don't know.
When I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, funnily enough, as soon as I did the sound engineering and passed, I was like, I'm off. Where do I go now? And to go to Mains, when you were not 18, you had to audition and pass.
Right. Okay.
So you can go there when you're 18.
Yeah.
But if you're not 18 and you want to go earlier, at the time, I don't know what it's like now, but you actually had to prove that you should have a spot there.
Wow. Okay.
Which was awesome because it ignited a huge amount of competition in me.
Yeah.
Which was already stirring when I was with a group. The producer might know this. I was with a group called OBC at one point there.
We've heard them mentioned once or twice. Yeah, it's a real vanity project by the sounds of things.
Oh, but they were instrumental in helping me grow as a musician in person too.
Yeah.
And amazing guys in there, like amazing talent in all aspects too. Obviously they were MCs, but their writing abilities were ridiculous. Their flair for music was ridiculous. They were awesome. And I had the opportunity to obviously be a part of that, which was cool.
Yeah.
And from that point, we wrote a song called Summertime Vibe, which then stirred a little bit of, it got a little bit of backing from the community, I guess.
Yep.
And then from there, I was like, I want to keep competing and getting bigger and seeing what I can do. And then I started going to Auckland and trying to compete with bands there.
One of the organisations that proudly supports the Northland Artists Conversation is Creative Northland. I'm going to take just a moment to talk to you guys about it. Creative Northland have been absolutely vital in helping this project get off the ground through its infancy and all the way through to where we are now. We couldn't have done what we've done without their assistance. What we suggest is that if you're a creative person and you haven't heard of Creative Northland, we highly recommend that you reach out to them. Creative Northland, simply do a Google search. They're the top result. These guys are wonderful. They're all creatives in their own way, and they're all very, very well respected throughout the industry that they work in. They're very hardworking, absolutely committed and dedicated to helping the creative people throughout Northland, whether it be through simple things like starting up a project, all the way through to putting on like an exhibition, for example, all the way through to working out how they can start turning what they do into a business. It's all free advice. They give really, really good guidelines and helpful assistance to make sure that you, as a creative, are able to get the most out of what you do. Creative Northland, highly recommend them. Check them out. So obviously OBC were sort of quite instrumental in helping you further develop as a musician. Did you end up actually going to Mains?
Yes, I did.
You did.
I did.
Did you get in pre-18?
Yes, yeah.
Wow,
So I did.
okay.
I left year 13, and my mother was huge on education. She was like, you will finish school, you will not have kids at 18, you will not, you know.
Not going to perpetuate the stereotypes.
Yeah, but she just wanted better for
Yep.
us than she had for herself, which is good. That's most parents, right?
Yep, that's what parents should want for their kids.
And she really emphasized education.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, in school, effort, I always got excellence in effort. But it didn't necessarily translate into academic ability.
Right, okay.
So
okay, yeah.
My grades were always decent,
Yeah.
but
Passable.
the one thing that always got me over the line was effort, to the point where my PE teacher, shout out to JT, ended up making a specific freaking award for effort.
Yeah.
So everyone was getting up in Boys High for these awesome academic achievements.
Yeah.
And then like, Ryan, for the best effort. And I was like, this is the greatest participation award I've ever achieved. This is so much better than the cross country medal you get. This is great.
It's like an O for awesome.
But I loved it. It was awesome. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I thought, and he inspired me to just keep it, you know, even if you struggle academically, like myself, or if you just don't fit the mold, just stick with your strengths.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, definitely.
effort was clearly something that I excelled at, so I just went for it. Just every class turned up ready to go.
Yeah. See, I was the opposite. I academically was, according to my parents, I was quite good. And
you're one of the gifted ones.
But no, I put in fuck all effort. And like I like when I did drama, it would be like, we need you to you'd have your assignments and stuff like that. We need you to write a thesis on, something to do with Edwardian times, blah 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 blah. And I'd sit there and write it the night before. I literally just scribble the whole thing out the night before, go to sleep at like 2 a.m, wake up at 6 and be like, cool, and I'd hand it in, and I'd be like, this is the best work we've ever seen, 98%. And I was like, took me 6 hours, one night.
Yep.
What an asshole.
Yep.
And you would have, and there would be other students in my class. It's been like 2-3 weeks mapping it all out, and I'd be like, it was a good effort. We had solid 74.
Yeah. So students like you would be, I would be very envious of.
Yeah.
Actually, my brother, bringing my brother again, he's coming up a lot. He's like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Pain in my ass, to be fair. He went to a science exam accidentally.
Oh,
and passed. And the teacher, because he went into the wrong one.
Right.
And it was a mock exam, and the teacher goes, "Do you even do this class?" And he goes, "Oh shit, no, I don't think I do this class." He didn't do the whole class. He didn't do the class for the whole year. He went into the final exam and passed at a high percent. And then she goes, "Oh, I can't give you the credits for that because you're not in the class." And then he comes home like, I don't want to bury him outside because here I am getting effort.
Yeah. Hard out.
And he passed a science exam that he didn't do the whole class for the whole year. And the teacher was like, "Who is this kid?" And I was like, and he's the same. He was like, he was the opposite to me.
Yep.
No effort, below average, every single time effort. And same thing. Why is that? Oh, well, because it's easy. It's boring. Why don't I already know it? I was like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, I think I would have much rather had been in your situation, because it would have given me a really strong work ethic the whole way through. I mean, I'm 48 this year, and I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, that scene from Deadpool, the first one, where he's on top of the bridge during the cartoon.
Yes.
And he dives down and goes, maximum effort.
Yeah, got you.
That's me.
Yeah, just mulling along.
Yeah.
But if I make it look like maximum effort, then it is.
It is.
So yeah, anyway,
we digress. Just deviate off.
Yep, just like Deadpool, just fell off the bloody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did you get on at mains in the end? Did you pass?
Oh, that was freaking a nightmare. That was a nightmare. As in the actual school, I was so sick. Loved every second of it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I made a deal with somebody, trusted the wrong person, and the fees weren't paid. So I kind of made a deal with a family member that if I moved there, they were going to help me and pay for this and that. And it was this big, you put in the effort and I'll make sure that everything goes smoothly situation. And it didn't go that way at all. And I was passing with flying colors. I met awesome people. I did freaking the first mid-eye session. So you get there, instantly people are performing.
Wow.
They do the session. They go, all right, anyone's got original songs, get up. They do a full-on band setup, and there's just the level of talent is ridiculous. Or at least it was when I went there. I was just like, okay, either I'm going to get so much better here, or it's going to give me the answer I have, which all musicians have, is whether or not you're able to be at that top echelon.
Yeah, can you hit that level?
And that's, it was nerve-wracking, but it's like a pressure cooker. You're either going to grow or you're not.
Yep, absolutely.
And so then I was the only one, because I was already writing original music. So I was the only one in our year that got up and performed a song. And it was the same song that I took to Rock Quest in school.
Yeah.
And we actually took it out. Well, no, we didn't take out the whole competition, but like we got to the semi-finals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With the song.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I've done this song. I'll just get up and perform it.
Yeah.
And apparently that was super rare. Obviously it would be, right?
Yeah.
First year, you've only been there for this is like maybe your second day just after orientation, and then all of a sudden you're up there performing.
Yeah,
but
here's my shit, check it out.
I felt like it was one of those moments where you were like, just so you guys know, I'm going to get after it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just going to sit here and watch all of you be freaking amazing and not fight for the position.
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments where I guess it was a bit ego.
Sure.
But it was fueled by the fact that, again, I wanted to push myself. Like, I felt like I had to do that so that I wanted people to come after me. I wanted them to push me to be better.
Yeah.
So I kind of,
obviously you're one of the younger students in the group, right?
Yeah.
So you've obviously got to continually justify your reason for being there. So essentially you're going, here's the middle finger. I deserve to be here. Here's why.
I guess that was my explanation mark of like, this is why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And it was atrocious. Like when we got there, we did this little circle thing and they're like, what do you want to do? And it was one of those moments you bang your head against the wall. Cause one guy gets up, he goes, yeah, I want to be a skateboarder, man. What made you do music? Yeah, I love doing kickflips, dude. Next guy gets up. What do you want to do? Well, I've always wanted to be an All Black, but I can't be an All Black right now. So for now, I'll play the guitar. And it just went round like that. And there must have been out of the applicants, and you can see why they make them audition.
Yeah.
It's out of the applicants. There might have been 4 of us that were actually there for legitimate reasons. And again, I felt like an idiot because I stood up and they're like, okay, what have you done? Oh, I've done this. I've done choir. I've done competitions. I went to Pacifica Rock Quest and got to the semi-finals. I've got a certificate in sound engineering. And it just went on. It almost sounded like I was being an arrogant prick.
Yeah. But all you're doing is listing off the things you've done because that's the question they ask, right?
Well, and because of that, like the 4 people that got up that were there to be there, almost acted like a SIF because a lot of people got up and left.
Wow.
A lot of those, like the kickflip guy was like, all right, I guess he may need to go to the skate park or something, but he just disappeared. He just disappeared. The rugby player just nipped out the back. You know?
Didn't come back.
Yeah, did a he's huss out the back and he was gone.
Yeah. I've got to go get some milk.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then right on the spot, you think you'd warm up, but all right, cool, audition time.
Yeah.
Everyone get in a semicircle, we're going to do Kumbaya, let's go. Okay. And some of them hit, and some of them
Not so much.
hit the floor.
Wow.
Caused a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, and it's, you know, it's nerve-wracking. Like, the nerves hit them. Some of them, again, I guess that's the point.
Yeah. You see who chokes.
Who can't perform? Who needs that, like, experience?
Yeah.
Because there was a girl that had a beautiful voice and her song was great. But as soon as she got to the microphone, can't do anything because she was just terrified to sing in front of people. And you just met these people 2 seconds ago, and now it's in an intimate setting like this.
Yeah.
Sing. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was fortunate enough to pass. And I think I think I did pretty well. I mean, you never really know when a teacher says you did really well, right? Because how much of that is authentic and how much of that is
smoke.
Please, we need people.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
Please
Government
stay.
funding will be cut.
You're the best prospect we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the best out of the worst.
Yeah. You're the best between you, skateboard, and rugby guy. So you obviously have the I guess the financial challenges with mains, and then you sort of have to bow out, right?
Yeah, so the worst part for that is essentially all credit to mains, they tried to keep me. They really did. Like they pulled so many strings to try and keep me, because I was destroying it because I was so passionate. And like they were even doing, like, you had to mix sounds, like mix CDs and stuff, and you'd mix the other person's song.
Oh wow, okay.
But you had to book time. Yeah. And that time was 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
4 o'clock in the morning. Like it was, I felt like the place was there to mold you to that lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's when the work gets done.
Yep.
You're up, you're performing. And we did gigs at the local, like we went to a local pub and did gigs. At the time I couldn't drink or anything, but we went and performed. But we still had to go do our sound engineering thing. So we perform, doing your assessment under pressure.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, it's 12. I got half an hour because I got to go. My session's booked for. So
I'm
you're
booked
there
in the studio. Wow.
And this thing, I don't know what the technology was, but this mixing desk looked like something out of Star Trek. It was so ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. I was like, holy crap.
Okay.
What button does what? I felt like I was about to turn into Optimus Prime and punch me in the face, because it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it was, and it taught you a lot. Some days you'd be like, "We're busking today. Get on the street, busk."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess in situations like that, it's you find out the type of character you have as a person. Is performing in your blood. Because you get thrown in these situations. And I was in similar situations at drama school. It was like, cool, we're going to go across to the main campus and do this dance that we've practiced 4 times. All right. Yeah, cool. Let's go then. And it's really a sink or swim thing. And you get to find out, because, being a musician, we've had a few musicians on before. They, it's all the graft that goes on beforehand. You don't very rarely do you instantly walk out and go, here I am, talent has arrived.
Well, Andrew does that.
Oh, right.
He does that 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Every single time.
I have heard that I have heard that Mariah Carey's ego is less than Andrew's.
That's true. That's true. All of Dub City knows it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so you do mains, but where are you now? Because now you're like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You're still being creative. Are you where you saw yourself creatively?
No way. But a lot of things have happened. Like I did so many different things that have led me to. It's like, and again with OBC, they'd feel this way. We get to a pinnacle where. And by pinnacle, I mean this is going to create change and we're going to start being in the industry now. Yeah. Or we fall backwards because we don't conform to the norms.
Right, okay.
And the norms is look a certain way, be a certain way. Like, it's so much more about how sellable you are than whether or not you make great music.
Yep.
And because we see it all the time, especially in New Zealand or wherever you're from, but
Yeah.
I'll only speak for New Zealand. There is ridiculous talent around the corner everywhere you go. There is a guy that can sound like Stan Walker down the road. There is a guy that can sound like Sons of Zion, and it's just a family gathering. There's just that many talented artists. And then you've got local talent, and I'll use OBC as the example because at least I know the guys.
Yep.
That they come out, they're unique.
Yes.
They do their thing, but they're not, again, they don't fit the mold, so that's where it stays.
Yeah. You know, and as someone who did metal, it's very much the same
thing,
It's
yes.
like, are you I got to make sure I say this right, are you a marketable commodity?
And I think the last metal group that got recognized are those boys that started adding te reo to their...
Alien Weaponry,
And
they're from Waipu.
you
Good
know,
guys.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The exposure is great, but is it more the fact that it's being backed because they're using the native language, or is it that people love metal now, or what? You know what I mean? Like you.
So that's a really interesting. That's a really interesting statement, and as someone who's kind of watched their career from, you know, because I mean I heard about them when they won the two parts of the Rock Quest.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this will be interesting to see. And then I've kind of followed them. They write good music, and the fact that there's the moldy component in there makes it very unique, and it's a very and to be honest, it's very marketable because it can go overseas. But that I had a conversation with a Whangarei City Councillor last week, and we were talking about the arts, and he's a very well respected businessman, and I'm, you know, obviously doing a small podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and he goes, you know, it'd be interesting to see, you know, have a look through your financials. And I was like, well, there's none. I have outgoings. That's about it. I said, you know, and this is one of those instances where business, where art and commerce don't meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how it will be for, I don't know, like 85% of creative people in general.
And unfortunately, like, that's where the slips through the cracks come in, right? That's where you get ridiculous amounts of talent.
Yep.
With no backing, no funding, no nothing. And then as artists, I guess, all artists only want to see art, right? They just want to, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, a lot of artists just want to see music they love. And again, I'm speaking on OBC because I was a member of OBC at one point there. Like,
still are, or?
Oh, yeah. Well, this, like, I did a song with Andrew not so long ago.
Yeah, right.
But
so still an active member of OBC.
Yeah. Well, we've linked up recently.
We've got a revolving door policy.
They have a right, okay.
Yeah, essentially. But
it's like Wu-Tang Clan.
It's
Northland's Wu. Whangarei Wu.
What makes them so great is who they are as people.
Yep.
Right? It's their personalities. But if you're not the personality we like,
yeah,
you're not getting in the door. But the reason their music is so good is because of their personalities.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just another MC saying a poem off a piece of paper. It's their personality that gives the flair. And a lot of the times as artists, I feel like you end up trying to conform just to get through.
Yes.
And you lose so many fans because you're not you anymore. I'm just Ryan trying to write like Chris Brown. I'm just Ryan trying to write like Neo because...
that sells.
Because that's the only way that people are going to be like, oh, well, and when I say people, I mean the ones that can get the ball moving and put you in a position where you can actually have a career in this thing.
Yeah.
That's when they'll look at you, is when they can see a sellable point and what's popular.
Marketable commodity.
And the only way you can break through that, and you're seeing it more and more now as artists doing YouTube and stuff, where, again, they're not getting traction until they're popular, and then all of a sudden they're getting deals.
Yep.
So, we didn't think this... Like, Tori Kelly is a great example of someone that got absolutely shunned.
Yep.
Hasn't conformed to any label, so to speak of.
Nope.
And the girl just went, I've got a talent, I'm just going to keep going. And then she broke in. And once she broke, but the reason she broke in is because her fans kept backing her up. And
Yeah.
so she eventually got bigger roles because, again, it all comes back to the marketing thing.
Yeah.
So, now you got fans. You've already got people sitting there that'll buy your
A
stuff.
pre-established.
So now we're going to just sneak over here and
fan
say,
base.
hey,
Yeah.
now that you've done all the hard work, do you mind if we put you under the nice shiny lights we own?
Yeah.
Take a little bit of a cut and boom.
Yeah.
Now you can sing.
So, thinking back when I was first in the music industry, because before I did the singing thing with metal, I was a guitarist for a hard rock /metal band.
Yeah.
And we would gig pretty relentlessly. But now I'm talking, so 20 years ago? Back then, you actually had what they call A&R people, which is artists and repertoire, and they would go to as many shows as they could, and they would find these upcoming bands, singers, songwriters, artists, and what they would do is they would sign them to development deals, and they would nurture that talent, and they'd go, we're going to throw you a bit of cash, we're going to get you this and that and the other thing, we'll get some showcases for you, we'll get you on the right gigs. Nowadays, if you don't come with a pre-established fan base, a marketable look,
Yes.
and a style that fits into a category, very rarely do you see anyone that's kind of outside that's in your top 20, for example. And I think that's where the music industry's changed. But in saying that, the flip side of that is a lot of that's had to change because of the likes of downloading and streaming and how we consume things nowadays. 20 years ago, you'd buy a whole record to get the one or two tracks that you really liked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, it's like, I'll pay $8.99 a month and get as many songs as I want. And if I don't want to listen to an artist's album, I'll just get that one song. So yeah, it is really, really interesting. And absolutely, there's not a lot of labels nowadays not a lot of major labels. I do know some smaller labels that do that. But not a lot of major labels that will actually go out of their way and say, let's foster new talent.
Yeah, and for me, I never wanted to be really a major singer.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a songwriter. And when I performed with Black Seeds and Anika Moa in this thing called Fly My Pretties Experience, where you auditioned.
Wait, what?
And if you win, you get to perform with them. And so they performed here like ages ago, and I got to perform with them. And the guy that was in Black Seeds said to me, I chose you based on your songwriting, not your singing ability. Even though your singing ability is good, I liked your songwriting that much that I just went, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And for me, it was huge because I always wanted to be recognized as a songwriter and write for other people. Because, like, again, I said, I guess I've got a bit of a problem there thinking that there are other people that are far more talented than me.
Sure, yeah.
That if I could write amazing songs for them, these songs would actually come to life.
Yeah.
Rather than me trying to push songs that I might not technically be the best or suited for.
So essentially, instead of being Tony Braxton, you wanted to be Dion Warren. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Or, I wanted to be behind the scenes writing music.
Yeah. Get to publishing.
But I felt like to get my music exposed, I had to get off my butt, get in the limelight, and start singing my own songs. Which to some of them I might do justice, but some of the other songs, I might not pull off because I didn't write them with me in mind.
Yeah, you write them with another artist's voice.
Yeah, exactly. And like, what's the avenue for that?
So, I mean, obviously, as someone who wants to be, let me rephrase that question. As someone who would prefer to be behind the scenes and not in the spotlight, how have you found your creative output now? Because obviously, OBCs they're becoming more active and they'll gig and stuff like that. Will you be on stage or will you be writing? Or will you be both?
Probably both, to be fair. I do have a performer's bug. I mean, most people do. When they write and sing music.
Yep.
I mean, look at Jessie J. She just popped out of the spotlight and went, "Hey, look at me, I'm awesome."
Yes. Well, she started off writing.
Exactly.
She'd written
For
just
a while.
songs for a long time. Then
And
she was
then-
like, "Cool, I'm just going to drop that money song
Yeah, and I've got a voice.
on price
Listen
tag."
to it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. She did
um,
incredibly well for herself.
I guess I like performing, and I found out later on that I actually do have fans out there, that I actually do have people that listen to my music and even know every word to the song,
wow.
certain songs, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's crazy, and you kind of want to do it for them,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
like if one of my favorite artists just up and went, you know what, stuff this, I'm out, I'd be gutted. Like if Tori Kelly came out tomorrow and said I'm never going to sing again, I'd be gutted. I'm a huge fan of hers. So
Yes.
as an artist and someone that enjoys art, that would be very sad to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think in that aspect too, sometimes I'm like, for me, it's a confidence thing, because I think I can sing, but I don't think that I'm at a level where I can make a living off singing. So
Is it the okay? So I have a question to challenge that a little bit. When you're in the studio,
yeah,
you can sing, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
But when you're on stage, you have to sing and perform.
yeah.
Now, is it the singing or is it the actual performance? Because there are
That's a
so
good
many
question.
there are so many musicians that are not great by any stretch of the imagination, but they are performers.
Well, I also did drama in school.
Right?
And I would say, I don't know why I keep clicking my tongue like that. I would say that I see, just like a metronome, eh? Just can't talk into a mic without a metronome. Just make my own metronome. So I think that if you're going to be a performer,
Yeah.
and you're in school and you're listening to this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
take drama as well, because you do have to have a second personality up there. You have to have a stage presence, or
Absolutely.
it's way too hard to silence your personal self
Yes.
if you don't have a mask. And it does feel like a mask, but if you don't have a, almost like a Batman cape to put on, like, this is who I am when I'm on stage, but off stage I'm just Ryan.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually embrace the role
Yeah.
when you're just being yourself, because what people are coming to see is, as a performance, is not how, like, it's not how you're going to be in real life.
Well, yeah, and I mean, imagine for someone like yourself, who you, by your own admission, said you do D&D and you have a bit of a geek in you.
Yeah, there you go.
Could you see, what would the inner Ryan look like if he was on stage? You get up there, you do these smooth songs, and then in between songs you go, I'm going to rock you guys harder than I rock this 12-sided die. Here's our next track.
Yeah, there
just-
you go. I'd probably be
People
like,
would be like, what?
I'd probably be like a chubby little half elf nerd guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're cosplaying up there.
All right,
Yeah.
that'd be real Ryan. Performer Ryan would look like a gladiator for sure.
Absolutely. Performer Ryan
Sure.
goes to the gym and looks solid, like
Would
he's an
look like-
extra from
Would
Gladiator.
look like a gladiator with a fluttery voice
Yeah, there you go.
that likes butterflies.
Yeah, smooth tones.
Yeah. So it's, I would say both. Sorry, to come back to the answer to the question.
Yeah, sure.
I do like the performance side, but I think you pour more of yourself into the writing.
Yeah.
So it's more personal for you. The performance stuff is like fun. That's where you get a buzz. You get to have fun with hopefully pairs of people that enjoy your art.
Yeah.
So you get up there, and that's like the payoff for all the hard work and all the pouring your passion into your art form, is that when you get on stage, you get to have fun with these people.
Yeah.
I guess it's not too dissimilar, again, from D&D, where you do all the character creation stuff,
Yeah.
but then once you finally get to the table, I am this character now.
Yeah.
So now I just get to have fun with it and do what I
Yeah.
want, and it's freaking amazing.
But it's not you.
But it's not me.
But it's a part of you that's
Yeah.
ramped up to 10.
Exactly. And I guess you're not as sensitive. You're not as sensitive when you're being the performer.
No.
It's a lot more intimate when people are judging, your artwork that they don't know where it's coming from.
Mm.
Because let's be fair, most music is coming from a pretty emotional place.
Yeah.
And for me, like I get this a lot. They're like, "Oh no, did this happen in your life?" I write of things that I see as well.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't just.
So it's not lived; it's also observed.
Absolutely, it's not.
Yeah.
You draw from so many different aspects of life, so it's not. I'm not sitting there going. Because if people listen to my songs, they'll be like, "Bro, this guy's been in love like 4,000 times. What's wrong with him?"
Yeah.
Or when
He's got abandonment issues.
when did his best friend die? Like, what was? It's it's you take from, like, I think one of my earliest songs I wrote for a wedding,
Oh wow.
and the wedding and it was called Simple Things, and it was the song that got me into the Fly My Pretty experience.
Oh right.
So
wow.
essentially, I just went, okay, if I was the groom,
Yep.
which I'm not, but if I was,
Yep.
what would that look like to me?
Yep. Okay.
My life's about to change. She's becoming my family.
Yep.
In my head, this will probably be the mother of my kids, so on and so forth, right? So I thought in that moment, how much magic could you create?
Mm.
Or how would it feel?
Yeah.
And so I was writing from not my perspective, but from hopefully his perspective.
Yeah. Sure. I get that. Okay. So with everything that's sort of happening for you at the moment, is there anything that you're sort of working on that we should be aware of and keeping an eye out for?
Andrew will be a testament to this. The kingpin of starting and getting 3/4 or halfway through something and then going, all right, let's write something new.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
for me, and I've said this to, obviously members of OBC and especially him, I just want the music that I've let sit for way too long.
Yeah.
I just want it out there. And whatever's done is done. If people love it, great. If they don't, I will feel better knowing that it's done.
Yeah.
Because there's so many songs that I just half-ass released or didn't put the effort in, maximum effort.
Yeah.
And I just, the irony of that
Yeah.
is I got excellence for effort.
Yeah.
And then it comes to this, I'm like,
Whatever. Just get it out.
yeah. And I kind of want to bring all of those songs together
Yeah.
and just do what I can to make them as awesome as possible. And then just release them and, let it be.
Yeah.
Like, let's see if people enjoy it, great. And if they don't, that's fine too. But I think that's more of a conscious thing for me. Because, like, I feel like you got to be in it to win it.
You do?
And I can't complain about the state of or lack of a career if I haven't presented, put my best foot forward.
Haven't thrown yourself out there.
Yeah, and you can get discouraged again.
Oh yeah.
Coming up with OBC, we got so many fake promises, so many. Oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be that, and so much yellow tape, red tape, all type. Now it's rainbow tape, right? That's the current. That's the current state of events. Is we had to cut through so many things.
Yeah.
To just get a foot in the door.
Yeah. Right.
But the work that led up to that was just, it's unbelievable. You're doing a full-time job.
Yes.
As well as, and people are like, oh, it's just a hobby. Not when you got passion behind it.
Yeah.
Not when you really want it. Like when you want it that bad, not really. And so, we did actually keep getting, because that's the question you get asked the most when essentially you're an artist that disappeared or didn't quite make it. It's like, why didn't you make it? Have you given up on music? Like, what didn't you do? And I think, unfortunately for us, like a huge one, especially when you're a young artist, most people understand this, is finances is a huge one.
Yep.
You got to live. And so, you got to...
Put food on the table.
You got to make do. Like, you're only a kid for so long.
Yeah.
You're 18, you get shoved out in the world. All right, survive.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So all this time that I was in school, just going to music class and, spending hours, 2 hours, all this free equipment, not getting charged for it. In the real world, hey man, I see you got a studio. Is there any chance I could record my song? Yeah, sure, man. You got an extra $2,000. Oh no, but I am an aspiring artist that wants to get out there. You love art, right? It says it on your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love art, but I also love money.
Yeah.
And that's fair, right?
Yeah.
That's a business.
Yep.
But
pay for someone's time.
it's roadblocks too for people that are trying to actually make it and be artists and actually get their foot in the door. And I think a lot of the times the reason I fell short or the group fell short was the fact that we were just constantly hitting that door and we couldn't quite open it.
Yeah.
And we're close,
Yeah.
but we couldn't quite open it. And so unfortunately, that comes with its own disappointments. And you start getting discouraged and you start doubting yourself and you start wondering whether or not you're actually cut out for this or whether you can make it. And a lot of people will be like, oh man, you just keep going, bro. Just knuckle on. And, it's the whole Disney story, right? Effort means that you'll get result.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the case.
Always.
It's not necessarily the case. If it's great, but it's not necessarily
Sometimes
guaranteed.
it's also things like timing as well.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, yeah. It's like that R&B singer that went on America's Got Talent and sung the Sam Cooke.
Oh,
I was
yes.
born by the river. I bet he did, he's been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And then they found him and they're like, oh, you're amazing. He's been amazing for 35 years. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He's just amazing now because it's convenient and
Yeah.
you've got a nice story with this old guy at a Subway that's been doing it for 35 years and never got given a chance.
No.
But he's been amazing and been at that Subway all that time.
Yeah. And having sat down with a vast array of artists, the big one that the big thing that sort of keeps coming up is finances. And as a creative, that's often the biggest hurdle. But I will say this: I'll give a shout out to Creative Northland because they're really, really good at helping artists that are looking to go to that next step but do need financial assistance.
That's brilliant.
They're able to steer you in the right direction. And dare I say it, 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
5 years ago, OBC would have been like, sweet, we need to shoot a music video. Okay, cool. Who knows a guy with a camera? Who knows some locations? I got a really good cell phone. I got a mate that's got a DSLR. I got a batch out in the middle of nowhere. Let's get shit faced and then film a video. Hey, video done.
Well, because
Nice and cheap.
yeah, even with and the song, honestly, the song is like the bane of our existence now. But when Summertime Vibe first came out, we always, I'll say for me, you always think, what would have happened if we actually had a proper budget and did this and that? Because it got a following with almost nothing.
Yeah, it's a great
It
track.
got a following with a bunch of boys that just picked up a camera and went, all right, let's go sing on the beach. That'll be cool.
Yep.
And it got traction. And
Yeah.
it got attraction to the point where it's getting played in clubs. I got told one time it got played in a strip club even in Auckland, which was absolutely
outstanding.
right. And you're like, what the? And I was sent videos of it, and you're like, what the hell? How was it? We got comments from people overseas and all this other stuff, and you're like, this thing's getting traction, and it's got no financial backing. It's just a bunch of guys that don't really know what they're doing, just trying to make it.
Yeah.
And it's getting this much backing. What would happen if somebody that knew what they were doing at the time?
Yeah.
Had the financial backing, actually pushed it and went, you guys, we could probably tone down the song a bit, do a bit of this, do a bit of that, and it might actually be a hit.
Yeah. But then again, maybe that song got popular because of the timing. Came out at the right time,
Could
the
have
right
been.
people saw it,
Yep.
and then it just takes off. Whereas if you throw a whole bunch of money behind something, doesn't always hit.
That's true.
Look at the amount of one-hit wonders. Pretty sure the Proclaimers thought they were going to have a long career when they walked 500 miles, and they'd walk 500 more. Not doing a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
Not a lot of walking. Maybe with Zimmer frames. But, all of the one-hit wonders that kind of are out there, they were all touted as the next big thing. Money thrown behind them, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't hit.
Yeah, I will say that community has a big part to play too.
Yeah.
I will say that's something that OBC pushed a lot when they were coming up, was they wanted to be, they wanted to be a almost poster for the community to be like, you guys can do it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we did.
Yep.
And we just are a bunch of weirdos writing music.
But you still can be, right?
Right? Oh, yeah. Well, it's, I guess you got to, how do you define success? Because we, all of us individually and as a group still have fans.
Yeah.
Still have people that love our music. Still have people that will come to every gig. Still have, I get messages all the time, like, this song that you wrote freaking 6 years ago, man, I still love it.
Yeah.
And that stuff is so cool. And you kind of do the whole I wonder if. And I guess me writing, like getting all the music together now and trying to push it and trying to push new stuff and trying to push the old stuff is getting that out of my system.
Yeah.
That whole, imagine if you just release it and then it is what it is.
Yep.
And so, yeah, but how cool would that be if, after all of that, you could come back and be like, oh, okay, even years later, I stuck at it and look at us now.
And I think the big thing is, if the one thing I've sort of learnt over the years is there's no reason it can't happen. You do have bands that have second careers. So I don't see there's any reason why you guys couldn't. So on that amazingly high note, Ryan, thank you so much for coming in, sitting down with us. It's been an absolute blast. And a cheer to the chair.
Cheer to the chair, bro. Thanks a lot. That was awesome.
There you go, everyone. The wonderful Ryan Karaka. So many funny stories that came out of this podcast, which I loved. Hearing how he passed music at Tolaga Bay Area School, absolutely classic. Who knew you could pass music by doing karaoke and just having a bit of a laugh? But Ryan was really, really cool in talking about the formative things in his life. He talks about his parents and how his mum really was an amazing singer and kind of got him into singing. He talks about some of the doubts that he has with I'm not a singer, I'm a rapper, because my voice sounds not that good. But then sort of finding his own voice and getting more comfortable and, sort of having to step outside of, being the sort of slightly insular person that he is, and coming forward and being that prominent person. So, I personally got a lot out of the podcast. It was super cool. Again, as I said at the start, really nice to hang out with a fellow coastie, which was cool. And, he's a good guy, and OBC are working on a whole bunch of new stuff at the moment, so it'd be really cool to see what they come out with. I will throw to my camera there, producer Andrew. Really, really cool time. Lot of laughter. I think it's the podcast where the person operating the computer and monitoring everything in the background has been the most vocal that they've ever been. A few wisecracks there, towards producer Andrew, but it's all in good fun. And there were a lot of laughs. And Ryan tells a good story. So really cool. So where can you, the viewer or listener, find out a bit more about us? Well, for video, you can go to our socials, which are Facebook and Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube, all Northland Artists Conversation. For audio, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Again, Northland Artists Conversation, nice and simple. And if you are someone that is creative, or someone who is creative that would love to come in and sit down in the chair and talk a bit about themselves and their creative expression, or just shoot the shit in general, please reach out to us. And the email is hello@northlandartistsconversation.co.nz. Super simple, super simple. Now, if you're someone that has gone, man, these guys are really, really good. They've been consistent. They put out a quality product. Really, really like it. And you'd like to give back a little bit more, thank you. We would appreciate that. We also have a Patreon page. What Patreon does is it allows people that want to donate to us monthly. So we have 2 tiers. First tier we have is cup of coffee, and that's $5 a month. That's all it is. Nice and simple. Good quality New Zealand original content. $5 is bugger all. So the second tier we have is what we've affectionately called Coffee Addict. And what that does is that gives you a couple of extras that you don't normally get in the cup of coffee tier. That is $20 a month. But what you get for that is you will get a shout out on the podcast, and you will also get to ask any of our upcoming guests a question as well if you want. We will post in there about who's coming up and what they're doing. So we have 3 that I would personally like to do a big shout out to. First one is Lauren Roach. She was on the podcast last year. Amazing lady, an incredible story. She's got a new book that came out. Highly recommend checking her out. So thank you very much, Lauren. Second one is Michael Boter. Now, Michael is a prolific author, and he is currently... Man, now one of his, if I've got to make sure I've got this right, one of Mike's short stories has been converted into it's like it's a podcast, but it's like a podcast script, podcast series. That's one of his short stories. So he's done really, really well. So thank you, Michael, as well. Third one is Maggie Coco. Maggie Coco is a musician. A lot of touring at the moment. Man, she is all over the show. A lot of touring. I think the last thing I saw, she was in Australia doing some shows. She's been touring New Zealand, down in Nelson and Auckland region as well. So thank you to all 3 of you for supporting the podcast. We really do appreciate it. Where can you find it? Well, there's 2 ways. First thing you can do is you can go to Google, type in Patreon. That's Patreon. Top right-hand corner. You'll create an account, then simply search Northland Artists Conversation, and you'll find us there. Pick your tier, Bob's your uncle. Second way, probably the easy way to do it, is to go www.patreon.com/Northland Artists Conversation. You'll find us there. We're pretty easy. So yeah, thank you very much. Gonna go to my wide. It's been interesting this week. We are... Well, we've hit daylight savings gone. We're now into the shorter days. Sun's coming up late. Sun's going down early now. Rain and wind is coming. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm looking forward to this time of year because obviously, we come up to our 1 year anniversary really, really soon, which is amazing. And we're going to be in a position where we're just going to keep going. I mean, we're still booking guests left, right, and centre, but we would always love to have more. So, if we've reached out to you, please let's connect. Let's go from there. We like to think of ourselves as a very non-threatening environment and space and atmosphere. It's all pretty chill, laid back. We all have a bit of a laugh. It's not. It's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. Trust us. Come on in. Sit down. The chair's nice and warm. Anyway, on that high note, my name is Mark Kelly. On behalf of the Northland Artists Conversation team, thank you very much, and we will see you guys real soon.